Gonna be good. Have I peaked? I've read one comment in my Discord that I think was sarcastic. I know nothing. It said Sork got nerfed. It's like it was a joke. I don't know what that. This is an Uber unique. Maybe if every single shrine buff had an independent cooldown, then I could see it. But like this isn't even better than just the normal aspect. Chance to freeze. Okay. Barb is gonna be able to apply some insane stagger with this. Hey, this name feels stolen. I've heard this before. Whoa. No fucking way. Oh god. That sucks. Yeah, this is atrociously bad. That's bad. Alright, well, these are all I mean, this one's not terrible. The rest are all useless. It feels like so many of these powers, they don't factor in the opportunity cost of losing an aspect. In 99% of cases, these are just worse than a boring basic damage aspect. And because they're unique, they're probably going to have useless modifiers that are thematic, like this shit's going to be like increased damage to frozen enemies, increased freeze duration, instead of like crit, vuln, and like actual things that matter. All these uniques are bad. Oh shit, look at this, useful. Oh my god, useful. Does something, has a multiplier. Wow, amazing, useful. Well, what the fuck does small missile mean? It's interesting, might be useful. So far, it's like, I don't know enough to say if this is good or bad. This and this, I can actually see having use. The rest of like all of this is like really, 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 really weak. Alright, they didn't fix the infinite Helltide ore party play abuse, which means it's intended, and I'm gonna abuse the fuck out of that. Oh yes. They had one patch to fix it, now I'm shameless. I need a goddamn Congo line of stream viewers to feed me ore. User experience. I don't know about you guys, but my experience when my mount like stubs its toe on a pebble and comes to a halt and then has to ramp up back to full speed, which is still slower than non-mounted player, it's a pretty bad experience. Why? Why? But I feel like there has to be a dev note for changes like this, right? It like why not 20? Why not 30 seconds? This leave dungeon should be long enough for the player to stand up out of their chair and walk around and get a drink to promote real life health. Let's go with a minute and a half. This is fucking massive. This shit, assuming they actually fixed it, dude, when four different ranged monsters spread out in a fucking delta pattern and start doing fighter jet maneuvers on you when you're trying to walk up and punch them, that shit was annoying. Like that was bad. Hopefully this means they won't do that. Like just ideally stand still and shoot me. Or walk into range of me so I can kill you. But anything else other than those two is not good. Like creating smart AI in a fucking ARPG is dog shit. Like leave that to Dark Souls. So non-Helltide overworld and base dungeons are nerfed even more, even though nightmares were already better. Okay, now I'm confused. Because this is all basically like the TLDR of all this is like fuck you, stop doing easy content, do Helltide nightmares. That's what all of this is saying. This is saying to stop doing that content and to do nightmares. And then this is saying stop doing nightmares and Helltides and do easy content. Oh, they killed boosting. Wait. They killed boosting in a way that doesn't remove split group XP farming? There's no fucking way. They definitely removed that further below. There's no way they did that in this way. They 100% removed group XP boosting. Because the only downside of removing infinite experience range was that it would have killed boosting. But if they already are killing boosting intentionally, then they definitely killed global experience. Why is group play just 4 solo players spreading out? That makes no sense. Balance updates. Here we go. This is where the bug fix is to all those aspects that are bugged. Making every class in the game do way more damage. This is where they are. I'm ready. I'm ready. Arian. Can you say that? I'm confused. This is the kind of thing that normally happens in like alpha when the monkey brain of whatever dev types in numbers is like 5 and 10 is better than things that aren't 5 and 10. Right? Like whenever balance changes happen in the game like League, for example, you don't look at the actual numbers and figure out what something should be. If it's like if the fucking smart computer is like, yeah, a balanced number for Ezreal Q is 97.3 damage, you don't do that. You make it 95 or 100 because our brains are, not very intelligent and we're basically like not even sentient. Like so like this is the kind of thing that would incentivize this change. This is not a tuning change. Bleed is dog shit. I think the core issue when it comes to berserking, I think that Blizzard thinks berserking is a multiplier. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Just like how they think Whirlwind already works with attack speed, even though it doesn't. They must think it's a multiplier. Because there's no way that you would leave Wrath of the Berserker a 1 minute cooldown ult in the state that it's in, unless you think it's a multiplier. That's the only thing that makes sense. For those that don't know, when you press Wrath of the Berserker and get 25% increased damage, that stacks with your 700% increase, giving you like roughly 4% more damage on a 1 minute cooldown for an ult. It's fucking worthless dog shit. But like, it must be because they think it's a multiplier. That has to be it. Or maybe it actually is a multiplier, and it's just like documented poorly in game. Who knows? What the fuck? Oh, what are those numbers? 28? But then what about this? It could just say 15 to 30. Oh my god. I'm having an aneurysm. Oh. Like in season 27, when they fix Whirlwind so it scales with attack speed, you can use Rupture on Whirlwind to like get attack speed to snapshot your Whirlwind, and then apply Vuln with the Weapon Mastery. Like make sure next core skill apply Vuln. That'll be good. Oh, Grizzly Rage no longer permanent, unstoppable. Everyone knows the most fun thing is being crowd controlled. And fuck you for trying to prevent that. Don't really care about any of this shit. Bone Prison. Did they even mention the fact that Bone Prison is for some reason proccing Lucky Hit at like a guaranteed 100% chance? Was that bug fix up above? I didn't see it. No? Oh, I guess it's not a bar bug, so it makes sense. How's Bursting Venoms not mentioned? Sorcerer. I'll be honest, I'm not gonna read this. Like, I scrolled down enough to see that they're not blanket buffing all their skills to account for the force nerf, and like I don't care. Season 2 is when Sword gets played. That's when they're fixing resist. God damn. They really don't want you doing non-Nightmare Dungeon, non-Health Tide content. That's crazy. No fucking shot they did this. Dude, I would have ranted about this if I knew about this. Are you fucking kidding me? It's only 100% now? It used to be less than 100%? Why? In what world does adding a player not justify at least 100% damage? Or HP? Like, not only do you just get an extra player, but you also get all of their extra utility. That, like, what the fuck? Like, this could be 130 and it'd still be better to be in a group. But, like, why haven't they removed infinite experience? Experience does not need to be granted more than 3 screens away. I don't get it. Party play should be based on being in a party and playing with your friends. Alright. Ooh. Item affixes. Many affixes are too efficient and are outshining alternatives. Looking to refine the outliers, improve the number of meaningful choices. Guys, this sentence was copy-pasted from Chris Wilson in 2016, and I don't want to let you know what he did, but... oh, fuck me. This is off to a terrible start. It's now harder to roll the mods you want on pants. But we're gonna phrase it as a buff. Okay. Oh, what? Another dead mod on every single item? Ugh, why? Okay, so it's harder to roll things now. It's harder to get the mods you want. Which adds time required to gearing. Probably, I bet at least one person in chat likes this. Hello, Alkaiser. It now takes longer to acquire perfect gear. Because it rolls dog shit worthless mods. So basically this entire thing can be categorized in TLDR as simply, it's harder to roll the mods you want on your gear. We've added more dead mods to the pool. to increase the time required to get bis. That's the summary of this, which is like it's one of those changes where like it's not strictly a bad thing or a good thing. It kind of depends on what like how fast you think you should get bis in a game. But that's basically what this is saying. Players were having too much fun by pressing their abilities too frequently. We've made it so your downtime is longer so that you spend more time in the builder spender cycle that we have envisioned for you. Okay. Okay, so one neat little tidbit about this. So every single class has longer cooldowns now. So all builds that were cooldown reliant are going to feel worse, except Rogue gets preemptive buffs to make sure that Rogue's cooldowns are not affected by this change. Interesting. But everyone else, like, fuck off. I mean, the reality is that even if they nerfed it by 50%, cooldown would still feel mandatory. And you know why? Leap Slam has a 16-second cooldown. Like, a human being typed that number in. In what reality is that okay? So, like, some of the cooldowns in this game are fucking astronomical. I mean, this is very true. Like, this actually will make a difference in like your weapon choice to some extent. For some classes, I think like Rogue using like unique bows will feel less bad now. But like this mostly doesn't matter. But this actually kind of can. Like whenever I have to take off my one-handed sword to put on like a butcher's cleaver, like I'll feel less bad about it, and it's more easy to justify using uniques that aren't the right weapon type. That's fine. They didn't change damage to close and core and distant, but they nerfed damage to crowd controlled, which was conditional and already rolled a lower value. That's bizarre. It's like when it comes to item affixes, this stat was worthless because it rolled values that were too low, so you would never use it because different values were better. And it says decreased. Maybe, wait, I can fix this. How do you inspect element again? What the fuck did I just read? What? Maybe 1 out of every 1,000 kills of this boss did a defensive aspect matter in the slightest. 99% of kills are blatant bug abuse, first of all, mostly with bugs that haven't even gotten fucking fixed in these patch notes. And they're all playing builds that are pure paper that get one-shot by everything. Defense doesn't matter. Offense, things being buffed, doesn't. They were glass cannon. Who typed this? Like, the person that typed this has not watched anything happening in D4 in the last month. Holy fuck. Oh, jeez. That's bad. I was saying, like, last week, like, the most important thing about this season was not the season content itself. It was the changes to the base game that came with the season. And this shit is questionable. Like, some of it I get. But, like, the fact that so many of the bugged builds that let classes like Druid and Rogue and Necro just do insane damage just, like, didn't even get their bugs fixed. That was crazy. Like, I figured the reason they didn't fix those bugs, even though they fixed all of the bar bugs, was because they saw the feedback they got from like preseason nerfs, and they were going to save those bug fixes, which were big nerfs, until this. But now they're not. I didn't see a fix for the boss though. Like, a huge problem with the Pinnacle boss fight is that you can just bug the second phase and make it not spawn blood puddles, because the boss is attackable before she spawns the core mechanic of phase 2. You can choose to either exploit it by staggering her before she spawns them, or doing too much damage. In both cases, cause the boss to not do its primary mechanic. And I didn't see that fix either. Just ignoring all the broken builds in the game that are fueled by bugs and not fixing them, while nerfing everyone else, that's not really good. That's not ideal. But there's still time for them to fix those bugs. Nerfing CDR is atrocious though. Never do this. You have to, like, I feel like it's pretty obvious that, like, CDR is a stat. It's either in the game and it's mandatory, or it's not in the game at all. There's not really, like, an in-between. Like, it's just unless you're somehow playing a build that doesn't use cooldowns, which is like pretty hard to do. Like unless you're playing a build that doesn't use cooldowns, like it's mandatory. Simply, it's always going to be, and and I don't think it's a bad thing. The improvements to your character when you get good CDR gear is one of the only actual gameplay improvements your character will experience when gearing from level 50 until level 100. The vast majority of your gearing improvements, I'm doing air quotes right now, is simply you got an item that has more crit damage on it, the monsters have more HP now because you're higher level and you're doing higher level content, and nothing actually changed. But like CDR and resource gen is like one of the few actual modifiers that change the way your character feels in a positive way, and it got nerfed. A little silly. All right, time to log in. Let's play some Diablo 4. Oh, I mean Path of Exile, obviously. Whoops.